Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. You straight gangsters over here,
Straight
man.
gangsters. Yeah, good morning. It is Friday, October 19th, and you are listening to Scout Team Sports. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical, self-deluded person I have ever met.
So true. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great patriot, and he loves America, and he wants to be Russian. His name is...
Yes, it's your boy, Chris Russia, coming to you live on 12-ounce Sports Radio to give you entertainment. He is strong like bull.
Well, you know, you are a big fan of Khabib, and you do want to see him beat Mayweather, so you hate America.
Oh, I don't want to see him fight Mayweather at all. I don't want to see that. That is absolute garbage. Stop the insanity, UFC and Mayweather. Stop this weird relationship where everybody's like, hey, you know what would be a cool idea is if we all like fought each other, man. Like, that would be so awesome. Like, no, it wouldn't. Stop. Mayweather's not a UFC fighter, and UFC fighters aren't boxers.
Yeah, I'm with you. I liked the McGregor-Mayweather fight. I do not want to see a rematch of it because I've heard that Mayweather is calling out Khabib, and he wants to do a rematch with McGregor. The guy just wants money. I can't deal with it. I liked the first fight, but that was it. I'm done with the gimmicks. I want to get back to the real fighting. I want to see these guys in their own sports doing their own thing. And honestly, Mayweather, he had made an absolute career out of just bad boxing matches. He's a very defensive fighter. He just drags fights on, and he ends up wearing his opponents out. And they're not fun boxing matches to watch. People got so crazy when it was Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Oh, this is going to be the fight of the century. And it was one of the most
to get there.
Yeah, it took forever to get there, and it was one of the most boring fights of all time. Like, that's not what people want to see. I want to see the UFC get into it, get in the ring, get Khabib back out there after the Nevada Gaming Commission figures out what they're going to do with him. We want to get McGregor back out there. We want to see John Jones out there. There's just so many other fights to see. We do not need the gimmick fights. I'm with you, Chris America. Flush that down the toilet.
This is like, we both have kids. This is like when one of your kids says something funny, and it's actually funny, and you give it a good, hearty laugh. And then your kid's like, oh, wow, like, Dad just really, like, laughed at that joke. And so then they just repeat it over and over and over again. And then by the second time, third time, you're like, all right, it was cute, little one, but let's move on. They just don't get it. They saw the good, hearty
I need
laugh,
new material out of you.
I want more. I need more of that. So I'm just going to give them the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. No, it was good once, like you said. I even bought into it. I kind of thought, let me see. Even though I knew what I was going to see, I was like, well, maybe I won't see that. Maybe I'll be surprised. I've been surprised in sports before. Maybe I'll get surprised this time. And now, once we saw the level of boxing eliteness from Mayweather compared to these amateur fighters, which is what they are, not amateur fighters, but amateur boxers, which is what they are, it's like, why do I want to see this? If Mayweather wants to get back in the fighting game, go fight an elite boxer. Go show me that.
I'm telling you, that's what we need to see. I'm tired of the gimmicks, tired of all the mess. It's time to move on. These guys are just cash grabbing crazy around here. We don't need to see that. Time to move on. You know who isn't cash grabbing crazy and not showing up and performing like he's supposed to? That would be our good friend, David Price. Nope, not Anthony Mack. That's a golden ghost. But that's a good example also. Good example also. But our good friend from formerly of the Tampa Bay Rays, where he got his start, where he got all of his fame, now pitching over at the Boston Red Sox. I feel like David Price last night finally exercised those demons. What did you think of this performance, Chris America?
To be honest with you, I didn't see it. I was kind of over it.
You're over the baseball playoffs?
No, just that series. Once it went down 3-1, I was kind of like, all right, this is over. Maybe the Astros win tonight, but they're gonna lose eventually. They're not gonna win 3 in a row, especially when they gotta go play 2 in Boston. Boston is just a good team, and once I kind of realized that Houston gave all they had and still came up short, it was just an over series. So I was watching a little bit of NBA basketball, a little bit of NHL hockey, spent some time on the Arizona State-Stanford game, watched the Broncos blow out the Cardinals. I just didn't have it. I watched from like the 6th inning to the 7th inning, and then once I saw how lifeless the Houston Astros were, I just couldn't hang around for it, man. I'm sorry.
Was it lifeless, or was it that David Price was so dominating? Okay, I'm going to go with David Price was so dominating. I'm
Well, I
going
don't
to
know
answer my own
about
question.
before that because David Price wasn't in the game at that time. By the time I got there and I saw the game, I was
Oh,
like,
you
man,
saw it
this
after
is-
the 6th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like if you're dominated by David Price for 6 straight innings in the postseason, it starts wearing on you. I mean, this guy only allowed 3 hits, no earned runs, 6 innings pitched for a guy that has been criticized nonstop for how terrible he's performed in the playoffs. For him to come out and pitch this is awesome, and the fact that his manager gave him this opportunity, because you and I were both sitting here saying, man, do they need to pull this guy to the bullpen? And I think most of the media, most of the sports analysts were all saying the same thing. Like, this guy was ready to make a kind of a career move here to the bullpen because he can't start in a playoff game. He was like, 0 for 10 or out of 10 appearances, didn't have a single win. And whatever it is that was going on in his brain, it's a psychological thing. But his manager gave him confidence. His team was confident in him. They said, no, we need you out there. You're one of our guys. You're our starting pitcher. You got us here. And showing that confidence, showing that you're our guy, we aren't going to waver. We're not going to give in to the pressure. We want you out there on the mound. David Price, I think, needed that little bit of confidence boost. He needed a little bit of that, motivation to get him out there. And he gave back to the Red Sox fans and to the Red Sox organization what they deserved, and that was a stellar performance on the pitching mound last night. And in a game that clinches the opportunity to go to the World Series, that clinches the AL. I'm sorry, my brain is not working very, very quickly this morning, Chris America. It's Friday, man. I'm just going
Friday.
off here on
Whoop,
a
whoop.
tangent. Whoop, whoop. So they clinched their division. I mean, this was a great, and I said it. Well, anyway, so this was a great division, or a great win for the Red Sox in their division. Oh man, I'm sorry, Chris. I'm going to hand it back over to you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great American League Championship Series win.
I was like sitting there, like I almost said NL, and then I had to catch myself, and then I paused really long, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I know it's not the NL.
And then when you start thinking to yourself while you're talking, it
yeah,
never works out for anybody.
I was going in 10 different directions. I'm like, okay, back to you, sir.
Back to you, Jim. I mean, hey, look, the Red Sox had the best record all season long, and they've proven why. I mean, they've just looked good throughout the playoffs. They thumped New York, who is also the second best record, I believe, in the league or in the MLB. And then they went up against the defending champs and basically swept them. I mean, just the gentleman's sweep. The Astros came out hot game 1, and it kind of served notice to the Red Sox, and the Red Sox got a feel for the Astros, and then they just took it to them for 4 straight games. It was spectacular.
Yeah, it was a great series to watch. I mean, I thought last night, the night before, it was the Astros' opportunity to get one back, even the series up. And when they lost that one, like you said, it felt like the series then at that point got out of hand for the Astros. Once they went down 3-1, losing kind of a heartbreaker with that Jose Altuve, a home run that got taken back, and just that diving catch with the bases loaded. I mean, all of that takes the wind out of your sails, and you're playing the next night. So when you come back the next night, it's hard to get yourself back up for another big game when you just lost a very deflating game, a big defeat, and I don't know that the Astros could get back up, and that's what you saw last night. They were not ready to go, and it wasn't anything on it's not their fault. It's just the Red Sox beat them down bad enough where they were kind of beat into submission last night, and they could not do anything at all. So I don't know, man.
We
one
talked about UFC.
series is done.
We talked about UFC beforehand, and we segued into baseball, so I'm going to combine the two. This series reminded me a lot of the Chris Cyborg, Holly Holmes fight, where Holly Holmes, an elite fighter in her own right, just threw everything she had at Chris Cyborg, and it did nothing to phase her. Every single punch was counterpunched. Every single hit was counter hit, and just grinded out a win for Chris Cyborg. And that's what the Red Sox did. The Astros gave everything they had. I mean, we talked about it last night or yesterday's show, how the Astros would hit a run and get a run in, and then the Red Sox would just come in, not skip a beat, and just hit 2 runs in. And then the Astros would come in and hit 2 runs in, and then we get 3 runs in from the Red Sox. And then the Astros would load up the bases, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th, have a chance to walk off and tie the series, and they hit a nice, sweet line drive, and they hit it in the only spot, the last inch of field that Benny Baseball was able to cover and catch the ball, and just totally deflated them. And they when you're in a fight like that and you give everything you have and none of it works, and you see how good it is, it's deflating, man. It's one of the most defeating things in all of sports.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and afterwards in the press conference, the Astros manager, he tipped his hat at the Red Sox. He said, they played a great series, and they're just a great team. And, Astros had their opportunity last year. They won the World Series. They were the best team in Major League last year. And I like to see when it is a new team. So not that the Red Sox haven't had ample opportunities over the last 20 years to win World Series and have won several. I'm just saying that it's good to see that it's not going to be a repeat. I do not like repeat performances with championships. Kind of why the NBA is wearing on me a little bit, because we're tired of seeing Golden State win and win and win. I love to see different teams win, and I would love to see Milwaukee bounce back into their series. I would love to see the Red Sox in the World Series as just they could give a dominating performance, and this could be one of those seasons that we talk about for a long time as one of the best seasons start to finish a team has ever had. Because if you look back in the major leagues, typically the team with the most wins in the regular season is not the team that wins the World Series. So for Boston to get all the wins in the regular season, have a franchise record, and that is a long-historied franchise, to have the record for most wins for their franchise this year and to win the World Series, I mean, this is history that we're watching right in front of us. We're watching history unfold, Chris America, and this is something that could be great that we may be telling our grandkids about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then they're going to be like, Grandpa, shut up. I'm watching whatever nostalgic show is on right now.
Forget that. They're going to be virtual reality. They're going to have a switch on their forehead that they just turn on, and they can play any game, watch any movie, any video. It'll all be 3D, like you're in it.
While they're pretending to listen to our story about 2018.
Yeah, exactly. They can just turn us
playoffs.
off. Yes, that's exactly what's going to happen. There's no way that, just the technology, the exponential growth of it, I feel like eventually we're just going to be in pods like the Matrix, and we're all just going to be sitting there plugged in and living a fantasy world. That's what the future holds. That's my prediction, bold prediction for 2019.
I'm good with that.
All right, good. I'm glad you're on board with me.
I'm on board.
Yes.
I feel like I'd get a lot more sleep if I got into a pod and turned off my brain and let a computer do everything for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's what we need to do. All right, Chris America, that was enough of our baseball talk. We got lots of baseball to come up still in the next couple weeks. We are excited about it, but there is also other things going on in the world. There is football. There's always good football to talk about. We can talk about what's coming up this weekend. We can talk about that horrific game that happened last night. I don't even know if it's even worth mentioning, but I guess let's just mention it real quick. Did you notice?
It was good for my fantasy football team because I had.
Yeah, you got Emmanuel Sanders. Oh, defense.
Denver's defense. Yeah, I wish I had Emmanuel Sanders. That would have been a great 1-2 punch, but
yeah,
unfortunately did not. Emmanuel Sanders, man, he was good last night.
Yeah, he's had a good year. I've got him in a fantasy league. I know people don't like hearing people talk about their fantasy players
fantasy
or whatever.
team.
But Emmanuel Sanders has been a really good player for the Broncos. He's become their number one receiver. It used to be Demaryius Thomas, and Sanders has kind of stepped into that role. And him and Case Keenum have gotten a really great chemistry together. And last night, Emmanuel Sanders actually threw a touchdown and caught a touchdown, had over 100 yards. Guy just is doing it on every facet of the game. It's just great to see him out there. But really, the big story last night was the Broncos' defense or the ineffectiveness of Josh Rosen. I don't know if it's which part of that story is which, but I will say that when you have 2 pick sixes as a quarterback, you are not doing very hot. And Josh Rosen last night throws 2 pick sixes to the Broncos. Like, you can't dig yourself out of that hole. If you throw 2 pick sixes in a game, you've basically buried your entire team, and that's it. And Josh Rosen is learning, just like Sam Darnold learned on the first throw of his career, that the NFL is faster than college football. The secondaries are scary, and you have to be on your mark, and you have to be on 100% of the time because they will take you out. They will see your weaknesses. They will kind of mislead you, and they will pick you off, and they will take it to the house if you make any mistakes. And Josh Rosen, he went to the School of Hard Knocks last night because he learned his lesson. He learned it quick. And the Cardinals, man, they look dreadful.
Yeah, we talked about at the very beginning of the season overreaction, Monday, how bad the Buffalo Bills were, and they're the worst team. We really should have been looking at the Arizona Cardinals. I think after, week 6, week 7, we now know who the worst team in the NFL is, and it's the Arizona Cardinals by far. That's not even close right now. And you're right, Josh Rosen is just going to have to take his lickings. This is the sort of season that a lot of rookie quarterbacks go through, but hopefully they can get it turned around. And then the other thing we saw last night is a tradition unlike any other. That, of course, is Sam Bradford standing on a sideline in a sweatshirt watching football, making $18 million. I saw that last night, and I just shook my head like, why is this guy still on my TV screen? How is he still in the NFL?
I wish I had the answer for you. I also wish I was his agent because I would be the greatest agent of all times. I don't know who his agent is. I don't know about all the business aspect of it, but that man deserves an award because somebody that has been able to get Sam Bradford that much money this many times in a row, I mean, he's got to be like top 10 of career earners in the NFL. Far. And when you look at that and you think, oh, if you've top 10 in career earnings, you should be in the Hall of Fame, right? You should be able to make a Pro Bowl every once in a while, right? You should be able to stay on the field, right? Oh, nope, can't check that box for any of those for Sam Bradford.
I feel like we should have, when we put in Bobby Bonilla and John Gruden, we should have put in every single Sam Bradford contract.
Yes, for our Twitter poll when we talked about the worst contracts, yes, any of Sam Bradford's contracts should have been up there in the top 3. I completely agree with you. Now, Chris America, last night there was a touching moment in the pregame. Kurt Warner's out there. He does a lot of the commentating and he does a lot of the analysis for NFL Network. He's out there, and Larry Fitzgerald comes over and kind of does like a fake tackle with them, and they have like a touching moment. And I just want to say that when the Cardinals had Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald, and they were in the Super Bowl, and they were going up against the Steelers, and it felt like they were going to win that game, Larry Fitzgerald's run that year in the playoffs was one of the best runs I have ever seen in my life. Kurt Warner throwing to Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, the guy was unstoppable, and the two of them almost single-handedly carried the Cardinals to a Super Bowl. I almost thought that the Cardinals were going to win. If it wasn't for a last-ditch fingertip catch by Santonio Holmes, they would have won. And just seeing those two guys together, it brought me back. I get to be the old man again, reminiscing to the good old days. But the connection between Kurt Warner and Larry Fitzgerald was one of the best connections in the NFL for that short period of time that I had ever seen in my life. It was awesome.
Yeah, for everybody thinks I'm just this guy that loves all the controversial players, the bad boys, all that, the John Jones. the Odell Beckham Jr.'s, the Chad Ochocinco's. I like all of those guys. But my two favorite wide receivers of all time is Jerry Rice 1 and Larry Fitzgerald 2, and it's for the same reasons. Number one, they are probably really the best at their position of all time, but also because of their demeanor. They're not all those guys I just mentioned. They're just good, down-to-earth dudes that play the game, as they say, they play the game right, and they just let their play do the talk. They've never been divas. They've never been look at me guys, even though they've always were the top at their position. So I agree with you, man. Seeing Larry Fitzgerald out there, I hate seeing him on this bad team. I wish he would have gotten traded to, I don't know, maybe the Eagles or who else is flinging the ball around? Maybe the Vikings. You know, just one of these teams that have an actual offense. Hell, send him over to the Rams. Let's see him on, that offense that Sean McVay's doing over there.
I would have liked to see him on the Patriots, the Jaguars. I know right now a lot of people are giving Blake Bortles heat, but Blake Bortles can throw the ball downfield, and I think he would get the ball to Larry Fitzgerald. I do think that would be a good fit, and they have really no good wide receiving core in Jacksonville, especially after Marquise Lee got hurt. I think that would be a great landing spot, but maybe that's me just loving on Blake Bortles a little too much this morning. I'm going to move on from that. There's a lot of great games coming up this weekend. We're going to talk a little college football. We have our draft coming up after the break, but I picked out a couple matchups for the NFL games this Sunday, and I wanted to bring back the good old
Who's Your Daddy?
So are you ready for this, Chris America? These are some really good ones.
I am Loudbeard, but I'd like to point out that not me, the supposed LeBron James hater, but Loudbeard totally skipped over LeBron starting night.
Okay, well, you know what? I mean, this was a learning experience for LeBron. They're trying to get their chemistry together. It was a game
is that why you skipped it over because they lost?
Okay. We'll get to LeBron. I'll talk LeBron here in a minute. We're not switching it around. LeBron hater. All right, first one. This one's a tough one for you. All right, we've got Cowboys versus Redskins. So, question for you, Chris America. Ian Hall, sports writer extraordinaire for 12-ounce sports radio, versus Loudbeard.
Who's Your Daddy?
Well, you are undefeated so far with your Redskins playing other 12-ounce sports radio personalities. So I'm going to go with Loudbeard. And not just because of that, the Cowboys are 3-0 at home and 0-3 on the road. They're 3-3 all around together. And Loudbeard, your team is really good at home. I mentioned it last week before our game about how good they were against the Packers. They were fantastic against my Panthers at home. And I think that continues this weekend, and the Redskins beat the Cowboys, and the Cowboys remain winless on the road.
Wow, that's a good choice. I'm going to have to agree with you, obviously, because I'm going to pick myself. I'm okay with that. I will say that it's surprising how well the Redskins have played at home, because historically, let's say over the last 5 years, they have not been a great home team. They've had a great home crowd, but it just, for some reason, it doesn't translate into anything extra. This year has been the complete opposite, and I love seeing a team that it does great at home. You know, you think about Seattle with the 12th man. People are always afraid to go out there. Kansas City with their ruckus crowd. People always say it's tough to play at Arrowhead. When you talk about all these teams that have these great home field advantages, when your team doesn't really have a home field advantage because they just don't play any better at home, it's like almost like you lose a little bit of piece of yourself as a fan. So I'm excited to see how well they're playing. All right, we've got some more here for you. This weekend, we've got the Lions going up against the Dolphins. Last week, Frank Gore has an electric game. And now, my question for you, Chris America, Frank Gore or Father Time?
Who's Your Daddy?
Father Time, man. Father Time's undefeated. There was sort of one of those, every once in a while, an old running back or an old quarterback not named Tom Brady will get these like fiery games. I mean, we see it with not Larry Fitzgerald, but Ryan Fitzpatrick. We've seen it a lot. So I don't see a repeat with that at all. I think the Lions defense and Matt Patricia will come out, slow him down, put him in his place, and then make Brock Osweiler win it with his arm. And I don't think he can.
Oh, you're gonna rock out with your Brock out. Good. Okay, I see where you're going with this.
Well, That would be you, Lion. I'm going with the Lions.
Yeah, I still don't have confidence in the Dolphins. Yeah, like you said, Brock Osweiler's starting. Tannehill, I don't know what this injury looks like, but it could be a little bit longer term than they originally thought. So yeah, I'm feeling good about the Lions in this one. All right, next one, we've got a battle of number 1 draft picks. That would be the great Baker Mayfield up against the great, kind of great, well, okay, Jameis Winston. And you have these two great quarterbacks, but these teams, both the Browns and the Buccaneers, I would say both of them need a win. So, Chris America, I ask you, Baker Mayfield or Jameis Winston?
Who's your daddy?
Well, in a crab eating contest, I really feel like Jameis Winston would be great on the run, taking the crab and just eating them really well. But since this is a football game, I'm going with Baker Mayfield, man. The Cleveland Browns defense, I just saw this stat yesterday. They lead the league in missed tackles, which is kind of surprising because they're actually a pretty good defensive team. When you watch the Browns, they're usually low-scoring affairs. And so I was kind of surprised to see that the Browns lead the league in missed tackles. Maybe a lot of them came in their blowout with the Chargers last weekend. But I really see them turning it back around. They're going to put it on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And Baker Mayfield's going to have a day with the Buccaneers defense, who is just as atrocious as any defense I've ever seen.
All right. Good take on that one. Next one, I know this one's going to hit at your heartstrings a little bit. Okay, Patrick Mahomes, the sensational young quarterback. Patrick Mahomes coming out
Patrick Mahomes
versus the Bengals defense.
Who's your daddy?
All right, Bengals
Patrick
defense.
Mahomes.
Okay, I gotcha. We got it on the record here.
Oh, man, I got a surprise for you, too, next Wednesday.
Ooh.
Then
I like
Patrick
surprises.
Mahomes. Can't wait.
Oh,
While you're
okay.
wearing your romper, I have a cool shirt that I got come to me.
Sweet. Okay, so Patrick Mahomes, you don't even need to explain it. Like, it's already, like Patrick Mahomes just saying
So
Patrick Mahomes explains itself.
Patrick Mahomes will float down from the clouds with the rays of sunshine shining at him and the angels singing in the background. Ah, and Patrick Mahomes will light up the Bengals defense.
Okay. I think that's a pretty reasonable explanation of what's going to happen.
Accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
Nailed it.
All right, the next one, and I saved the best for last. This is also a battle of two teams that really should need a victory, so one team's going to come out on top. You've got one of the greatest American animals of all time, and that would be the great American eagle going up against the Panthers. So in this battle, you have two big-name quarterbacks that are going to be going head-to-head. Carson Wentz coming off a fiery game against the great Cam Newton. I ask you, Chris America, Cam versus Carson.
Who's your daddy?
Well, this is, again, a defensive game where I'm looking at the defenses, and I think the Panthers' defense is a lot better than the Eagles' defense. This Eagles' defense allowed Ryan Fitzpatrick, let's not forget, to throw for like 400,000 yards and 15 touchdowns against them. They're really bad. Now, Carson Wentz, we'd mentioned how he turned it around. He's playing better. But that was against the Giants team that was just defeated previously Sunday by my Panthers. They gave the Panthers all that they had, and then they lost on a 63-yard field goal. And I think really the Panthers won that game for the Eagles. They sucked the life and the soul out of the Giants for them. So the Panthers are going to come in. They're going to beat up, your boy Wentz, and the Panthers are going to win the game.
All right. I did not expect you to do other than picking the Panthers. That was pretty. I mean,
it's about as
it's
unpredictable
consistent.
as you picking the Redskins.
Yes, exactly. All right, I'll take that. All right, we're going up against a commercial break, but do not change that radio dial if that is still a thing, because you will be excited to find out more about Halloween candy as we come back. If you get a candy apple with a razor blade in it, you know it is good to eat.
When I'm working hard, I build up a thirst for sports. That's when I grab a cold 12-ounce sports radio. 12-ounce sports radio. Quench your sports thirst.
Oh, guess who it is? Did you know the station had a janitor? Oh yeah, the Jefe, otherwise known as Beck. And it's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-ounce sports radio every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Catch interviews, special guests, and the recap of the week's news and headlines and box scores and results. It's Beck's Work Week in Review live on 12-ounce sports radio.
Scout Team listeners and friends of the show, I've got something special for you. It looks like 12-ounce sports radio has done it again. We have partnered with Rally House. You just go to the website 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner on the right side of the page, and it will take you directly to Rally House. Rally House has some of the greatest, most unique sports items for that diehard fan, casual fan, and anybody and everybody out there that is special in your life. So go ahead and check it out. Once again, go to that website, 12ozsportsradio.com. Click on the banner to the right of the page, and you will get taken to the best sports merchandise website on all of the interweb. Do you own a small business? Are you looking for solutions to all of your communications, problems, and challenges that you have? Check out Ring Central. Give them a call. They have partnered with 12ozsportsradio.com to give you the best rates on all of your business and office solutions for communication. Give them a call today. We have a dedicated line for all of the 12-ounce sports radio listeners. It is 1-877-779-3860. You will get a representative on the phone who will help you with all of your small business communications needs. Once again, give them a call today. 1-877-779-3860.
Yeah, welcome back. Once again, you are listening to Scout Team Sports. He's Chris America. I'm Loud Beer. We're bringing it hot this Friday morning. It is October 19th, and we are excited to be on the airwaves today. We have a great lineup ahead of us on 12-ounce sports radio. A lot of great shows, and I'm not just saying that. I know you hear me say it every morning. I'm not just saying that. These are great shows that you need to check out. First and foremost, you are listening to the Scout Team. We go on at 6 a.m. and again at 11 a.m. on 12-ounce sports radio. But today, we have some other great shows coming up right after our show. Immediately after at 7 a.m., A Sip of Sports. Wow, what a great show. Make sure you check that out. Mary brings you an alternative look to the sporting world, and it is amazing. 8 a.m., Clutch Talk Sports is on. Our affiliates over with Sports Radio America, Clutch Talk Sports is on at 8 a.m. And at noon, College Credit Hour. Two great shows. Check them out. Cows and Quacks. Right now, college football is hot. Cows and Quacks are breaking it down. 10 a.m. 11 is our replay. After that, at 2 o'clock, what is your favorite show to listen to on Friday afternoons at 2 o'clock, Chris America?
That is, of course, Jeff Beck's Work Week in Review.
It is a great show. I love listening to it. Last week, he came in hot with fake Lou Holtz, and Lou Holtz gave the prediction that the Notre Dame Fighting Irish would cover the spread with 3 scores, and they did not cover that spread. And he said it was a lock, that you should bet your mortgage on it. And I just wanted to say I am glad I didn't listen to that guy. But he is entertaining as all get out. Make sure you check him out. I mean, great lineup today on 12-ounce Sports Radio.
I hear drunk Lou Holtz is in a fit of rage and wants to come on our show to defend his take on the Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
This is true.
He wants to challenge you
I'm all for it. I love getting challenged, especially when I get bad gambling advice. One, because I give bad gambling advice, so when I receive bad gambling advice, I can give it just a shade. Yes, I take it, and then I can complain about it afterwards. It's okay. This is how the world turns, as the old soap opera would say.
Listen, Drunk Lou Holtz, not every team can be like UCF and blow out Pittsburgh, okay? You know, not everybody can be as good as UCF, but Notre Dame still won, and a win is a win.
A win is a win is a win. Lou Holtz, Drunk Lou Holtz, fake Lou Holtz, whoever you are, bring it, my friend. I am here. I am ready. I have signed up for mybookie.ag. It is a great website where you can get all of your bets in, and if you go on now and you put in the promotion code SCOUT, SCOUT, all capitals, put it in, and we will give you a credit towards your first step into becoming a degenerate gambler, and we are proud to be part of this process with you. So check it out, mybookie.ag, put in the promotion code SCOUT, and that SCOUT stands for Scout Team, and if you love listening to us, you can always check us out on our website, scoutteamradio.com, and we will have all of our old episodes, or you can hit us up on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, or if you want to get social, Chris America, you can check out at Scout Team Radio on the Twitter machine. With all that being said, it is Friday. Let's draft it up, man. What are we doing? What do we do every Friday, Chris America?
Well, we do a fantasy draft, but before we get into that, I have to say, Loudbeard, you've recovered from your Monday lost voice. Each day I've been kind of noticing it's getting stronger and stronger. Now I feel like you're at 85 to 90% health. Hopefully you get some rest in the weekend, but you probably will end up shouting at the TV again and come back Monday with a lost voice.
It's unbelievable. It has been going on all week. It is better today. Yeah, each day. Like it's been a little scratchy all week.
I've been doing
fighting through it,
rehabbing.
Oh man, someone told me that beer lubricates the throat, so I've been drinking as much beer as possible to help make sure that my throat feels nice and tender and soft, and I can give you, all the fans, all the listeners, this beautiful voice, the one that they have come to know and love. They need it every morning, and they get the loud beer that they love, and that's what's happening right now.
And you know what else helps out with the voice, Loudbeard?
What's that?
Halloween candy. Halloween
Yes,
candy
it
helps
does.
out the voice, whether it's Skittles, Jolly Ranchers, great for the voice right there. So we're gonna do a Halloween candy draft for Final Fantasy Draft Friday, whatever we're calling it. What are we calling? Is it Fantasy Draft Friday?
Fantasy Draft Friday. Let's just do that. It is
FDF.
Fantasy Draft Friday.
Now I squeaked out a win, did I not?
I didn't look at the final, but you had me by like 2%. I think it was, I guess 4%, but 52% of the voters were going Chris America, 48% Loudbeard. I had the early lead, and then it switched, and you ended up taking the victory, but it was a close one last week.
It was a close one.
It was a very close one.
I can't even remember what it was last week. It feels like forever ago.
It does feel like forever ago, and you had to ask me that because I was thinking the exact same thing. I'm like, I don't even remember what we drafted. I remember there was your last pick. You're like, oh, that's going to be the one that gets me, and I can't even remember what that was.
Oh, it was the pumpkin spice.
Oh, sure. We did pumpkin spice lattes, Kahlua.
I thought was gonna get me.
So last week we did the pumpkin flavors, which was great for fall. This week we're doing Halloween candy. Next week's even going to be better. What's next week? You had a good topic you picked up.
Oh, we're gonna be doing Halloween horror movie villains.
Yes. I'm so excited
Is
about
next
that.
week already Halloween, Loudbeard? It's not this Wednesday. It's the Wednesday after that, isn't it? Yeah, we still got 2 Wednesdays.
It's the 19th. Oh, so we got 2 Wednesdays. We're going to do it on a Wednesday, not on our Friday. That's why. I gotcha.
Well, yeah, because
I gotcha.
Yeah, so
it's special.
we still have one more fantasy draft Friday before Halloween. So we're gonna do the Halloween villain on Halloween, or the horror movie villain, and then we'll figure something out for next Friday that's Halloween related, October related.
I like it. There's when we do these drafts, I've been trying really hard to do well, and I'm not doing very well. I think overall I'm like 2 and 5. So I give up. I'm just going and just throwing stuff up against the fan.
You're 2 and 3 against me. I think you're gonna bounce back with this one, and you have the number 1 pick. Do you not?
I don't know.
I think you do.
Okay, I'll go with the number one pick. Without further ado, Loudbeard with the number one pick. He is selecting the Reese's Cup as his number one draft pick because that is one of my favorite all-time candies, and I don't care if it's Halloween or if it's Easter when they do the white chocolate. It is by far the best candy on the planet.
You're right, and I kind of knew that that's where you were going to go with Reese's. It's probably the number one Halloween candy overall, so I'm going to have to bring up my A game with the rest of my draft picks. I'm going to have a solid 5 and hope that it beats your Reese's because I know that the voters are always one-pick voters. They don't look at the whole team. They're like, oh, there's Reese's. Reese's is my favorite. Totally voting for that one. Even you could select a bunch of vegetables after this right now, Loudbeard, and I feel like you'll win with just Reese's alone.
Don't pick broccoli. That's my second draft pick. Don't take broccoli from me.
All right, there's so many other great second picks that it's hard to choose from. So I'm going to take what I see a lot of, and that is Skittles. I love Skittles. I'm going to vote with a little bit of my heart. Skittles is a great candy. It's sweet. You're going chocolate. I'm going sweet. Maybe a little bit of sour.
All right, so with my second pick, I am going to select Snickers for my fantasy draft.
And you know what? That's my favorite Halloween candy.
Oh, you picked Skittles for your pick. I see
I
where you're
did.
going with that.
I
yeah.
did.
I mean, if Marshawn Lynch is voting, then yes, you might get a vote.
Okay, you're going all chocolate. I feel like I'm going to need a chocolate in here to combat that. So I'm going to go with the candy that melts in your mouth, not in your hands, even though it's always melted in my hands no matter what, especially here in Florida. And that, of course, is M&M's. Going to go with some M&M's.
Okay, M&M's is a solid pick there. I can't say anything bad about that pick. But I'm going to come back, and I'm going to go a little off the rails. I like to be a little weird, a little different. And a lot of people, this is a love-hate relationship, but it is more Halloween than any other candy on this list so far, and that would be the candy corn.
Okay, good. Whew, that might actually lose it for you. A lot of people have passionate hate for candy corn like they have passionate love for Reese's.
I actually don't mind the hate. When we get a lot of talk and people are like, what's wrong with you? Why would you ever select candy corn? That's the worst ever. Like, dude, it's a fantasy draft for Halloween candy.
Right,
Who the
relax,
hell cares?
chill out.
I mean, the people, the passion on Twitter, if we could somehow funnel that into being like love and peace, the whole world, we would have the solution to world peace.
The world would be great.
It would be an amazing place.
Okay, so is this my third pick?
This is your third pick.
All right, surprised this one's not off the board yet. I'm gonna go with the Twix. Twix is a good. I gotta get a candy bar on there. You have a candy bar. I need a candy bar on there, so I'm gonna go Twix.
All right. Okay, I see where you're going with that. That's not a bad one. Oh man, there's so many left, and there's not one that like just sticks out at me. There's a couple that I see on here that I like, but I don't know if they're going to be the best choice.
I wish we had character space to do 10. There's so many honorable mentions, and I'm having a hard time picking each selection.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but I think I'm going to have to take a look down my list here. You know, candy corn is a little bit of a sweet one. I went 2 chocolates to start it out. I feel like I might need to go with another sweet. I'm going to pick the good old Starburst.
That's a good choice. I was eyeballing that. I was like, man, I think I got to make that my next selection. So since you took Starburst off the board, and it's a great pick, I'm going to have to go with one of my favorite candies. When I go into the convenience store, it's what I'm looking for when I'm needing something sweet and something sour, and that's Sour Patch Kids.
Ooh, good choice. The Sour Patch Kids, very good choice because it has that little sour kick. It's not like an Atomic Warhead where it's very difficult to eat because it's too sour or too spicy or too whatever. It's got just enough to really kick in. That's a good choice. And also one of my favorite groups of kids. I love the Garbage Pail Kids and I love the Sour Patch Kids. They're all great kids. Number 5 with my 5th pick.
What about New Kids on the Block?
No.
That's more of a Anthony Golden Ghost.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the Golden Ghost. Stop with that boy band stuff. He's the only one that loves those guys. Wow, this is. I've got two here that I'm thinking.
Can we go 6 picks since you're having a hard time and this is such a good topic?
It's tough with the characters on Twitter.
All right, we'll do a 6 pick each, and if we can fit it, we'll run with it. If not, then
okay, we're going 6 picks. Okay, I'm going Butterfinger.
But just go in with the mindset that your 6 pick might not be on there.
Yes, that's probably a good thing because my 6th pick is going to be. It's going to surprise you more than anything else.
Okay, so you're going with the Butterfinger?
I'm going with the Butterfinger, like the old Bart Simpson commercial.
On my Butterfinger. Well, since you're going to surprise me, I have a surprise for you. So maybe I should strike the iron while the iron is hot, and go with hot tamales.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. All right, so my last one is. I'm saving this one for last because I will probably get run off of Twitter with this pick. But I tell you right now, Chris America, this is probably not a great Halloween candy, but it is one of my all-time favorite candies. And a lot of people give it heat because they just don't understand the greatness. It's basically pure sugar rolled up into some sort of mushy goo and then shaped like a peanut. And that would be Circus Peanuts. I had to do it. It's my favorite of all time.
Circus Peanuts is probably as bad as Peeps.
Circus Peanuts are so good. I don't know why they just get so much heat, but they are. They're like one of the best ever.
I can eat like 1 or 2 Circus Peanuts, but it's definitely not a, divulge yourself type candy. You will be throwing up orangey grossness for weeks if you just divulge into Circus Peanuts. All right, Loudbeard, with my 6th pick, I'm having a hard time deciding between Blow Pops, Jolly Ranchers, and Kit Kat Bar. Oh. All right, I'm going. Miss America just shouted from the background, Blow Pops, so I'm going Blow Pops.
Blow Pops was on my list. They were on there. I love Blow Pops. They would have been my 7th pick. You had a good choice there for your 6th pick. We're gonna try to make all of these fit on our Twitter poll. It may be a little bit.
Do it.
I think we can do it. We're very smart people. We can somehow. I can abbreviate, and do something instead of Starburst. I could just do
SB?
S-burst. SBs.
Or no, you could just do the emoji star and then write the word burst.
Yeah, Circus Peanuts. It'll be circus and then a peanut.
A peanut. Yeah.
People will definitely. I will be strung up on Twitter today because everybody will tell me how terrible Circus Peanuts are, and I actually almost picked it. 1, because I do truly like Circus Peanuts, and then 2, because I love the fan reaction when something crazy is on my list.
Yeah.
Because they always call you out. It started with our first draft when I really tried hard, but I did not realize how terrible Tim Couch actually was, and in Cleveland fans' reality, how awesome they think he was, and that whole there was a disconnect there. And since then, I realized people are just looking for something to hate on. So if you have a good list or an average list, nobody cares. But if you have one item on your list that's bad, that people think is the worst thing ever, they will love calling you out. So all day long, I will be getting comments about my Circus Peanuts, and it's going to be glorious.
What you're saying is you took one for the team.
I took one for the team. Yeah, I'm the wingman of this draft.
All right, well, some honorable mentions that I really wanted on my list, but just my other picks were just better. Double Bubble. I used to have a love-hate relationship with Double Bubble because you'd put it in your mouth and it would be a glorious 15 seconds and then it's over.
The fastest fading flavor ever. It was the worst. And then it would get really hard, and your jaw would start hurting if you chewed for more than 20 seconds.
20 seconds is your limit. It's kind of like the what is his name?
Woody Pecker? Oh, Inspector Gadget?
Inspector Gadget. How the message would blow up.
I like how you had to do the tune for it.
Yeah. I knew the tune, but not the name.
I mean, you could have done Mission Impossible, but you're like, no, we're going Inspector Gadget.
Inspector Gadget.
It's a little bit more obscure. 80s kids love this show.
That's right.
Let me do the tune for you.
And my favorite candy that didn't make our list because I didn't think anybody else did is Tootsie Rolls, man. I used to love me some Tootsie Rolls and then Tootsie Pops.
Yeah, Tootsie Rolls is a good one. You know how they tried to start doing the flavored Tootsie Rolls where they were vanilla, and those were awful. The original Tootsie Roll is where it's at. Milky Way, did we mention Milky Ways? I don't think we did. I like those. Those are pretty decent. You don't like Milky Ways?
I'm not a fan. If I'm gonna have a Milky Way, might as well have a Snickers.
There's always the classic, just the Hershey's chocolate bar, just straight plain
Hershey's.
milk chocolate.
Yeah, Hershey's chocolate bar. We also missed Kit Kat. I did mention that, but it didn't make the draft.
Honorable mention.
And then I thought about doing Reese's Pieces, but I was like, I don't know. I've already got M&Ms, so Reese's Pieces should have been on there too, I think.
Yeah, and they fall. I couldn't do the Reese's. I did the cup, so doing the pieces would be like kind of too much. So I left it off. But
double
pieces
down
are
on
good.
the Reese's well.
Pieces are good.
Yeah.
Now they do have like the peanut butter M&Ms. Those are good.
Yeah, I kind of am hoping that people just take all M&Ms across the board because
M&Ms is a solid pick.
Some people like peanut M&Ms, some people like just plain M&Ms, and then like you said, the peanut butter M&Ms are really good. The pretzel ones are pretty good too.
I don't know if I've tried the pretzel ones. I'll take your word for it.
Yep. Well, as a good solid draft, we'll have to put it up, and hopefully I get another 2-game winning streak going against you again.
All right. Well, you know what? I'm the LeBron James of fantasy drafts because I keep getting the L. Yeah. But I'm still one of the best, greatest player on the planet.
You're still great, like
even though I can't win.
You're still great, like another candy we didn't mention, Lemonheads.
Oh, I'm not a big fan.
Me neither.
No,
Apparently, Louisiana's a huge fan of Lemonheads.
That's weird. That's just a weird fact. Thank you for Weird Fact Friday. So, yeah, about that, we'll move on. LeBron James gets the big loss. I saw in the highlights he had a dunk. Everybody was going crazy. They still can't get the win. He'll build that team chemistry. Moving on, a lot of great stuff.
Whoa.
What? You want to talk more LeBron?
That's it? That's all LeBron gets when he loses is you just want to just gloss it over as we're
First of all, Chris America, it's the first game of the season, okay? You can't overreact on the first game of the season. We've talked about this. You can't.
We can't.
It's just not worth it.
LeBron James is going to go winless. They're going to light the Staples Center on fire. It's going to be the worst ever. LeBron James sucks. No, I'm just kidding. He doesn't suck. He's great. I did find it funny that Twitter blew up over his dunk. It was a pretty generic, free breakaway.
It was the standard LeBron James dunk.
And then right after that, the Portland Trailblazers go down the court and run down the middle of the court and slam dunk themselves while LeBron James just stood and watched. So why didn't we give that guy the cred? I thought the LeBron James steal that led to the dunk was far more impressive, but, whatever. I digress.
Yeah, LeBron James is just going to be on top of the mind because he is the greatest player on the planet, and everybody wants to prove Chris America's hate for LeBron James wrong by seeing LA bring a title, right. Chris America?
But Aaron Gordon's coming after that greatest player on the planet title.
I mean, right now the Magic are just creeping up the standings because teams are losing that have won, and the Magic still haven't played their second game. So right now, Magic are still undefeated, and not that many teams in the NBA can say that.
Basically, what I hear you saying is that Aaron Gordon is the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and LeBron James is the saltwater taffy.
Ooh. No, I didn't say that. That's taking it a little too far, okay? This has gotten a little crazy. We can't go that far off the rails. Bring it back in. Bring it back in, Chris America. Bring it back in.
We'll bring it in for the last 2 minutes, man. It's the weekend. Which games are you looking forward to watch besides the Washington Redskins?
Well, definitely the Washington Redskins. I this has been one of those seasons where when you're looking at the pro football games, I mean, like the Saints and Ravens, that should be a good matchup. Let's see what that ends up doing. But honestly, college football is really what has been great to watch on Saturdays. And you got the big Michigan State rivalry. I'm kind of interested in that, though I think Michigan State is garbage. And then everybody's going to be like, see, this is why Michigan's ranked so high is because they're so awesome. I think Michigan State got lucky last week. I would love to see an upset there, but I think Michigan's got that one all the way. I don't know, man. Any other games that are popping out to you? NC State, Clemson, the battle of the undefeateds. I'd love to watch that one.
Yeah, and I called my shot on Twitter. NC State's going to win that game. Calling it right now. You heard it here first on Scout Team Radio.
Bold
I am the
prediction.
Great Gambino. Bold prediction. And I want to see if I can get a bold prediction out of you. Tennessee beat a team from Alabama last week in Alabama. Can they beat another Alabama team this week in Tennessee, Loudbeard?
I would love to see that, but absolutely no way. Heck no. I know everybody's going to say, but Alabama plays such a tough SEC schedule.
It's a grind, man.
Tennessee is not a tough schedule.
No, Tennessee beat
can be a
Auburn,
grind.
therefore they're just so good. You don't
They're the
understand
best
how the
ever.
SEC works,
Oh,
Loudbeard.
Yeah, I don't. I just
you don't
get it.
understand, man. They're just so good. They had Alvin Kamara on their team. He's Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
That's how good the SEC is they can have Alvin Kamara and still have a bad record. Like Tennessee would probably go 30-0 in any other conference on a 12-game schedule, but they're in the SEC, so they're winless.
What about LSU, another good SEC team, even though they got beat by the Gators and now are ranked ahead of them, you think they can take out Mississippi State?
Yeah, they're going to play Mississippi State, who is yet to beat anybody really of merit, but somehow they're ranked number 22, even though all of their wins are against unranked opponents. But we'll put them in the 22 spot, even though they've lost to their two other hard teams that they've faced. And I'd like to see them beat LSU. I'd kind of want to see Mississippi State beat LSU and then LSU beat Alabama. That's how I want to see the next 2 weeks go down.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Last game, Oregon, Washington State, the last two top 25 teams that are facing each other. I got Oregon. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Oregon. I like to see them do well. They're a fun team to watch, a fun fan base, and I like their stadium design. And then another Washington team plays Colorado. Colorado was undefeated up to last week, and Washington's head coach has taken a lot of fire from SEC fans because he talked trash about Alabama's schedule. So he's got to back it up now. Like, you can't talk about how you would be 7-0 with Alabama's schedule and then turn around and lose to Colorado.
So true. Monday morning, we will talk about how terrible our bold predictions were, and we will eat idiot sandwiches. Have a good Friday.
Nah, man, I'm going to get a genius for that NC State pick. You watch.
No, I like NC State. That's a good choice, man. Yeah, I'm digging.
Dig it. Dig it, sucker. You know, we've gone a whole week without talking to Golden Ghost. I missed him.
I know. We're going to have to see if he's still alive.